The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
How's everybody doing out there? This is Danny Rivera, the Advocate, and definitely stay tuned Fridays to 10 to 11 and Saturdays 10 to 11. And I'm here with my lovely co-hosts out there, my boy in the Ryan Show, and
Matt Giametta. Woo! There we go, from Gruntworks Meat Company. But I know that Ryan can take this over right now.
Man, because we got a legend sitting here alongside of us, guys. Hello, Long Island. It's good to be here again for The Advocate. Hello, Danny. Hello, Althea. And today we have a veteran with us.
Yes, we do.
And a business owner. And a guy who actually gives back. Because there's so many people that are veterans and really do need the help. Right. And there are so many people that want to eat good food. So our guest here has combined these efforts into providing people with a good way to get high quality meat while still giving back to his fellow veterans. And he's got a hell of a story, an incredible story. So it's with great honor and pride that we introduce our guest tonight, Matt Giametta of Gruntworks Meat Company.
Welcome to The Advocate, my brother.
Gruntworks Meat Company is launching this week, so we're very, very excited to be serving the entire country. But Matt, let's let you take it away, man. It's good to have you here, man. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I don't know if I'll be able to live up to that intro, but I'll try.
Well, we'll start. We'll ask the questions. You give the answers. You got a hell of a story, man.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
Well, I just wanted to start off because obviously I know you're a veteran. So take us back to that time, and then from that, going forward, how you transpired to doing exactly what you're doing right now.
Okay. I was in the Marine Corps, infantry, served some time over in Afghan Helmand province. When I came back, had some struggles like most vets do. A lot of it was stuff from prior that got exacerbated kind of thing.
Wow.
Had a lot of friends that lost their lives post-combat. Drug addiction, suicide. I fell into substance abuse pretty hard. See how this all ties into meat at the end. It's kind of, It's kind of odd how it does.
No, that's pretty dope. That's
it definitely indirectly fell this way. I was actually telling Ryan about this earlier. I went on I did that carnivore diet. It was like only red meat and water because I had a lot of gut issues. Oh, wow. From some of the things in combat. We're on antibiotics over there for like 8 months straight. Wow. Which like destroys your gut lining. But I was doing a lot of research in the meat industry, trying to source high quality meat. Grass-fed, grass-finished, no antibiotics, wanted to know where it was coming from. Okay. And it's like, I don't know how much you guys know about the meat market, but it's non-existent for like the average consumer. You can't really buy meat out there. It's so expensive. It's crazy.
It's tough, especially now.
It's insane. I mean, there's virtually a monopoly on meat these days. They took over cattle ranching. They kind of wiped out cattle ranching. They control what they buy it for, what they sell it for. They're selling really low quality products for insane prices in supermarkets. And then if you want the good stuff, you're talking about, what some people make in an entire day for a meal.
No, you're right.
So it actually all kind of happened in a synchronistic manner. I wasn't looking to get involved in the meat industry. I didn't know too much about the business end of it, although I've been trying to start a business a couple years. And I got a phone call basically saying, hey, I got to connect. My buddy is opening up a processing facility. He wants someone to sell the meat for him. You want to start a meat company.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So at the time, I had been doing all this research, and I was like, that actually kind of falls into what's going on in my life right now. Right. I'm kind of aware of the prices and where to source stuff from. Like, maybe this is an option. Let's dig into it a little bit. And the first thing that he said to me was he called me because the idea was to have a veteran-owned business, find a charity that's different than other charities, and find a way to work together with them. It's always been in my head, no matter what I do want to support vets in some way. I want to give back in some way. This is a very small way, but
you may think it's a small way, but I think it's a very big way. No, it's very
big because you don't got a lot of companies that be doing that for the vets.
There are people like you that are not out there.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued of his story.
Yeah, so far, keep
that's
going.
Awesome, man. That's great to hear. We never know how interesting something that we did could be, I don't necessarily find myself interesting. So
no.
You know what it is? Those other people's life experiences and stuff like that. People definitely want to hear, our listeners definitely want to hear about it a little bit more, because I want to hear about it a little bit more.
I mean,
awesome.
Go a little bit more in depth.
Okay.
The story itself.
A little more in depth.
Yeah.
So after I got that phone call, we just started doing some research. And the first thing I said was, no matter what, I want to work with veterans. Let's find a charity. Let's link up with them. Let's get the person who runs the charity to be part of our team. Right. For a lot of reasons. One, it'll keep us in check. Two, also, I think that when you have people that work for the company, it's a different animal than when they're owners. Yeah. When you're an owner, there's a direct correlation with the work that you do. It's your baby. Yeah. So you're really incentivized to making it succeed. So I did want whoever came on board to be an owner in some way. Okay. And when we started doing the market research, we realized that this was totally possible.
Right. Okay.
We had a leg up on the competition because we have a processing facility. We basically cut out the middleman. Most people are basically brokers for me.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of handcuffed. So now we get to, we have our price set. There is no brokerage fee, and we're sending it to the consumer. We're able to sell it at a lower price, which is great. And then we linked up with Nate Boyer, who, if you guys aren't familiar with, he's a Green Beret turned NFL player. Oh, unbelievably impressive man.
I know him.
Yeah, and when you talk to him, you can feel it. He's just an impressive guy, a good guy. I was really interested in his story when we first met, and he started this company, MVP, merging veterans and players. Oh, wow. So I don't want to...
I'm loving this guy right now. You don't know. Go ahead. Keep going.
I don't want to... I'm going to give what I know about the company because I don't want to misrepresent them in any way. Mm-hmm. But the basis of the company is to take combat veterans, and they have facilities in many states. I don't know the exact number. I don't want to say it wrong. Mm-hmm. And at the facilities, they link them up with ex-professional athletes, either retired or medically retired, and they host exhibition games and open workouts, and they barbecue, and they hang out.
Right. Yeah.
So this is way different than most charities operate. Don't get me wrong, any charity is great. It's amazing that anyone is trying to find a way to give back to anybody. That's awesome.
That's true.
But I thought it was important to do something that I personally resonated with, that I personally thought was going to benefit people. And before we even met Nate, this is something that I spoke about with my partners. I said, I want to find someone different. I want to find someone who understands what it actually means to help. Right. And money is great, and places to live are great, but these aren't the actual issues that need to get solved specifically with veterans. I've seen it over and over and over again. When guys come back, they lose this sense of self. They lose a sense of purpose. They need some kind of identity, right? And there's such an identity with being in the military. No matter what you did, you're so connected with who you are. Right. You have a tribe. Mm-hmm. And when you get separated from that, it almost feels like you lost your identity. Who am I now? You see these guys from going back as far as Vietnam, and the only thing they talk about is their time in service. Yeah. Because they never found a new purpose. They never found a new identity. They never found a new tribe. So I thought it was so cool what he was doing. He's giving guys a hobby, right? A productive way to spend time, something to look forward to, and a tribe. These are major things. It's a lot more than putting lunch on the table.
Talk about healing, right? And getting past the horrible atrocities and things that you see. It's re-establishing that community. Right. What MVP is doing. So 100%. Important. Like you talk about homes and all that stuff is just as important. But yeah, it's definitely a great move. And like you said, we all know Nate from his time with the Seattle Seahawks.
Right.
Yeah. Helping Cap take a knee. For Nate, there wouldn't be people taking a knee right now.
Have you ever done your research on how that situation transpired?
Yeah, that's what's pretty crazy. Wasn't he originally just sitting down? Kaepernick?
So again, he was originally sitting down.
Are you kidding me?
Sitting down.
Go ahead.
Again, I don't want to misrepresent anyone in any way, but I think if you read the story, there's a whole article on their story, Colin Kaepernick and Nate Boyer's story, and it's amazing. They have two completely contrasting ideas, and yet they found a way to work together so that they both handled the situation in a way that they thought was respectful to each other, and they have an understanding. They're friends now. Oh, from what amazing. I know. Or at least get along.
Well, listen, everybody, man, we're going to be right back with The Advocate. This is a good conversation.
I know it is.
Match your meta in studio, gruntworksmc.com.
Exactly. We're going to be right back with The Advocate.
Freedom isn't free, and neither is our meat. Gruntworks MC is providing America with the greatest meat on earth, while simultaneously giving back to veterans. 'Tis the season to order steaks. Go to gruntworksmc.com and check out our fine selection of beef and pork. We're talking Wagyu beef at regular beef prices. We're talking the literal greatest meat on earth. This is even better than eating normal Wagyu beef because you're helping veterans and those that served our country at the same time. Use promo code ADVOCATE10 for 10% off all purchases on gruntworksmc.com. That's ADVOCATE10 for 10% off all products. Check us out at gruntworksmc.com. Once again, promo code ADVOCATE10 at gruntworksmc.com for all the finest steaks.
And we're back. This is Danny Rivera, the Advocate, and I am here with my lovely host, Althea, my boy Ryan from The Ryan Show, and
Matt Giametta. Now, we were talking, obviously, about the company that he started, but again, I want to get more into details about the meats, okay? Specifically, because, you know what, I don't know if you guys saw in the news about, they have that now, synthetic, lab-created chicken.
yeah.
Did you see about that?
It's delicious.
I have no comment.
Yeah, okay, thank you. No, but that's what I was talking about. I mean, I want the real stuff. I don't care how good it may be for you and if it's going to be FDA approved and all that stuff. I want the real meat. So give me the real meat, man.
Pause.
Yeah, humans have been doing pretty well throughout history off of things that come from the earth, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know. That's what it just boggles my mind when they come up with new stuff all the time. And I'm sitting there going, what are we going to do with all that cattle?
Well, at the end of the day, you already know.
What are we going to do with all those chickens?
Women need real meat.
Yeah, this is true.
You can't fake some things.
Yeah, okay. That was good.
That's the way I look at it.
Let's hope.
So, but actually,
nice shot.
Wait, I got another question here because with the meat, it actually, because you started on a carnivore diet for a specific reason. So can you elaborate a little bit about that?
What is the carnivore diet?
The carnivore diet is, so I did a pretty extreme version of it. In general, it's only animal products, but I had some pretty severe gut and health issues going on. Mm-hmm. I did only ribeye and water, 2 segments of 3 months.
One of my favorites.
What is that?
Yeah, mine too. Luckily, I enjoyed every second of it. I used to wake up and rare,
okay,
bloody,
you're the rare guy. I'm not the
bleeding
rare
all
person.
over me, covered in blood.
I was going to ask you what it does to your mind, but that answers the next question. Like, what does it do to you mentally eating nothing but meat?
So my personal experience was a very good one. I felt a lot of clarity. All the brain fog went away. I had a ton of energy. There seems to be a ton of positive testimonials on it, and I'm not like an advocate for anything necessarily. I'm not a carnivore diet advocate, but for me personally, it did work quite well.
Well, how did you come across on starting that kind of diet, though?
So I had done a lot of experimenting with diet in general because of my health issues, my gut issues. I tried a vegetarian diet. I tried a vegan diet. I did every crazy diet under the sun, and most of them had benefits, but none of them fixed what I was trying to fix.
So in other words, the cured meat cured you.
So I think it was more that it was such a fascinatingly strong elimination diet. I like the way you put that.
Thank you.
That was great.
That was very witty.
Got a good one.
I didn't want to not show appreciation for it. But yeah, I eliminated all the foods that were causing inflammation in my body. So in doing that, I gave my gut time to heal itself.
Okay.
Also, meat is extremely nutrient dense. It's quite good for you, no matter what everyone out there is trying to say, trying to convince you not to eat the things that basically made us human. There's a ton of benefits for them.
Do you have to work out at the same time?
You don't have to do anything. I mean, working out's like a pretty big part of my life. I enjoy it, but no, there's no.
He doesn't look like he works out at all.
Sometimes they say that if you don't work out after you eat a lot of protein, it turns to fat.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people say a lot of things.
Exactly.
Show me science. Show me data. Show me journals. I want to see facts.
I'm going to second that one. The way he said, just show me the facts.
Show me the facts.
You know, and at the end of the day, man, meat is like the. That's what
you love every type of meat. I mean,
pause.
Don't
I'm feeling the energy in here today, guys.
No, I'm just saying because
I'm in the right place.
I mean, me growing up, my father loved meat. And
Pause.
I mean, you're talking sirloin, New York strip, T-bone, porterhouse. I mean, my
hungry.
father brought everything home.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's not to love.
But you know what it is too? Because my father was born in Greece. Short story. Okay. So the town that he was from, they had that butcher. Okay. So it wasn't like going to the supermarket or anything like that. Every time you went to go eat, you went to the butcher and you got fresh meat. And there were cattle in the background.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh yeah, we know what you're saying.
Fresh
he was
off
killing
the
them by
farm
hand.
meat.
Yeah. So I mean, they had chickens in the back, right? So that's where we got our egg. You know, it was like everything was natural. Everything was natural, and I would always come back healthier and a little heftier. But I always felt better when I came back home from Greece to the United States because the way they eat over there. Their meats, everything.
In a perfect world, I think that's how, we all eat. It's not really a possibility for us here in the States because the amount of people that we have.
Right, true.
But that is something that we've tried to implement at Gruntworks. We have a QR code on all the cattle that we raise.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can track what it's eaten, where it's been,
That is
where
so
it goes. It's like, it's
a
a small
LoJack.
thing that one is kind of fun, it's like there's a little gamification of it.
Right.
But people want to know what they're putting in their body these days. There's a lot of health conscious people and there's a lot of toxins that go in your body. So it's good to know exactly what's going in your body and understand what's going to happen when you eat things.
Right.
And it's just like a peace of mind thing. Like, oh, this is what this animal ate. This is where it went. And now I'm eating it.
So another question: how far long did it take till you started to realize that it was actually helping you with your conditions?
I started to notice benefits pretty quickly. The first couple of weeks are like kind of brutal as your body adjusts. But once I got through I'll save you guys the details of that. They're not very radio pleasant.
Go ahead. You can tell us afterwards. That's okay.
Sure. But after like 3 or 4 weeks, I started to notice pretty significant changes. Honestly, after like the first week, a lot of my gut, my gut health, I started to notice was a lot better.
Really?
And then once I got through the adjustment phase after the first month, I just started to feel quite good. But it was so expensive.
I know, yeah.
Like it was like having another mortgage expensive.
Oh my God.
I was like, this I don't think is sustainable. And the only way to sustain it is if I eat lower quality meat that's more affordable, but then I might not get the benefits because now I have these other things going in my body and whatever. It created a whole host of new issues. So I was like, I stopped. I was like, I'm not going to be able to continue living this way.
Is this literally just one big ploy to continue the carnivore diet?
Man, I hope it doesn't sound that way.
That's right.
I know that it probably does. I'm just like kind of generally passionate about things that work for me. But yeah, no, I'm not encouraging anybody to try the carnivore diet.
So you don't recommend it?
I've already done the carnivore diet before even meeting him. I love meat,
Pause.
Wait, so how long exactly did you last, Althea, on this carnivore diet?
I've been doing it over 40 years now.
Ate meat once, haven't stopped
She's
since.
the real advocate then.
Don't I look like I'm in shape at my age?
So wait, you literally only eat meat, that's it?
I am probably 85% meat.
So you wake
awesome.
up in the
I'm really in
morning
the right place.
for 40 years now, you eat bacon.
I'll eat bacon,
sausage,
everything.
and then go to lunch, you're eating chicken, roast beef.
No, I don't like chicken. Wow. Oddly enough, I don't
Carnivore
like
diet doesn't
chicken. I
really
don't like
involve chicken.
turkey. I don't like duck.
We brought you
Really?
to the place. No duck, huh?
No
Ooh,
duck,
duck
no
is
ox,
crazy.
no bison, no bison. We went once, they tried to get me to eat a bison burger. It wasn't happening.
Nah.
It's
No.
good stuff.
No.
I recommend it. So in terms of Gruntworks, we've got beef, we've got pork. What else? Is there? We can expand into any other exotic type of meats.
It's a possibility, but I
Except
don't really
chicken,
necessarily
right?
think
No
we will.
chicken.
I personally don't necessarily want to. I think that's the goal of the company is to sell beef, and we already picked up pork because
Where's the beef?
It just made sense.
Yeah.
So I like to keep it simple.
And it makes sense. They focus on one thing.
Yeah, for sure.
on the
I
cows,
think that
on the
there's a big market for it. Everybody, not everybody, but a large portion of our population eats meat. I think it's hard to source good meat for decent prices. So I think that it's a pretty good recipe to find success. I think that we'll do pretty well. And I hope that we're able to give back in some way. That has always been.
I mean, you literally are giving back
Yeah, exactly.
to MVP.
Yes.
So to establish that connection is just absolutely tremendous. So, what do we have to look forward to in terms of this summer for Gruntworks? Actually, I'll let it be known right now. August 18th.
Go ahead. Let them know.
August 18th, you can find us at the Cannabis Expo. There's things happening right now.
That's true. That's
on
true.
Long Island.
Things are happening.
So what do we have to look forward to this summer for Gruntworks? What's the next step? How about we lead them to the website, and we let them know that there's officially a promo code that'll get you 10% off all products.
Yes, it's
all
true.
these steaks, all the pork that's on the website, and that promo code is Advocate10. That's it. You can
I
Google
like
how to
that.
spell Advocate. It gets you 10% off all the products on the website. And so it's a subscription-based service. How does that work exactly?
So right now we're just doing retail.
Just retail.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that will be implemented though. That's always been a goal of the company. Do subscription based, offer boxes specifically for holidays. Like special bundles that make it a little bit cheaper that work out.
Makes sense.
But slow implementation. We want to get the website up and running as soon as possible.
Okay.
We're ready to launch here though. GruntworksMC.com, guys. Come check us out.
Okay.
Advocate10, promo code Advocate10. You're listening to The Advocate. Danny Rivera, Althea Dublos.
Oh,
Just
you're
kidding,
very
Dublos.
funny. I'll get you.
I
after
love him,
this.
Ryan. You taking over. All right, man. This is Danny Rivera, the Advocate. We're gonna be right back. This is great.
Freedom isn't free, and neither is our meat. Gruntworks MC is providing America with the greatest meat on earth, while simultaneously giving back to veterans. 'Tis the season to order steaks. Go to gruntworksmc.com and check out our fine selection of beef and pork. We're talking Wagyu beef at regular beef prices. We're talking the literal greatest meat on earth. This is even better than eating normal Wagyu beef because you're helping veterans and those that served our country at the same time. Use promo code ADVOCATE10 for 10% off all purchases on gruntworksmc.com. That's ADVOCATE10 for 10% off all products. Check us out at gruntworksmc.com. Once again, promo code ADVOCATE10 at gruntworksmc.com for all the finest steaks.
And we are back. This is Danny Rivera, the Advocate, and I am here with my lovely co-host, Althea.
Pause. No, I'm kidding.
My boy
Go ahead.
from the Ryan Show. And
Matt Giametta. I thought you were going to say it.
I was, but then you know what? I just
baby.
like the flow. I like the flow of
He
it.
loves the flow.
You know,
Okay,
that's
go
why I
ahead.
like you when you say it. I'm like, yo, I love the flow.
All right, take it over, Ryan.
Take it over.
Take it
my God, that's
over.
a lot of
Let's go,
responsibility.
Ryan.
So we do have the founder of Gruntworks Meat Company here in studio at Long Island News Radio. Matt, it's so good to be sitting with you, brother. I just don't understand how this stuff works. I mean, I'm learning working with you guys, but if you could let us know more about these facilities, how does the whole process work of getting a cow without the gruesome details?
Yeah. Awesome. Yes, I mean, it starts on a cattle ranch. Just like in the movies. It all starts, you got to raise some cattle, right?
On the
So,
range.
like, you see, like, Kevin Costner on a horse or something, like, dancing with... No? Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Yellowstone, right?
Yeah, I love that show. Go
Me
ahead,
too,
keep
I'm a
going.
big fan. So it starts, you raise cattle. Gruntworks has a processing facility. We have the land that the processing facility is on. We work with a few specific ranchers in the area. We keep it pretty local. This is all in Florida. So we raise cattle, we buy cattle. We raise them a little longer on the processing facility in the land. We process them there, and then we ship them out. So I hit on it a little bit earlier why we're able to give discounts, why we're able to sell it a little bit cheaper than any broker's really able to sell it for. It's kind of, we remove all those middlemen.
Yeah.
So we have from A to B, we raise the cattle, we butcher it, and we send it to your doorstep.
Okay.
So we're able to cut out these costs in the middle, and obviously we're able to still make some money ourselves and make it a little more reasonable for somebody to buy.
I can't say this. I had Omaha steaks, and this is no knock on them, but it was,
no, I remember
it's
that.
horrible. It's terrible. I don't know what it was. It wasn't Wagyu beef or anything like that.
Really?
I did have,
Oh,
maybe I just
God.
had a bad experience, but this was years ago. It was just very standard, not to knock anybody or anything, but this was years ago. So when I tried Gruntworks for the first time, I wasn't sure what I was in for, and it was incredibly high quality beef.
Right, yeah.
So I mean, what's the
American
process?
Wagyu, baby.
That's that
There you
American
go.
Wagyu.
That's
So
that American Wagyu.
Yeah, I like
I've seen
that.
those big old girls. You ever see those memes with that big cow and it's like the chick going to protect her friend getting talked to and you see that big cow running? Man, nothing like a Wagyu cow. So down in Ocala, Florida, is there like you talk about what I'm interested in is how you track the food. Like the cows these days, you talk about grass fed. When do you start monitoring them? How does that work? The specifics of
It starts from birth.
wow, that's
They
great.
get the
look at
QR
that.
code on there, and
with the milk.
This is one more thing that I don't want to misrepresent in any way, because this is not my area of expertise. This is what the cattle ranchers do. And the guys that we work with, in my opinion, are fascinatingly smart.
Yeah.
They're third, fifth, or fourth generation farmers, depending on which ranch you're on. They grew up on this, and everything is very scientific. Every single move that they make is broken down to a science. It's honestly like fascinating to watch, because this is like a whole different realm from where I'm from,
Yeah.
So a whole different walk of life. The way that they do things it's really cool to see. They know exactly how to create what they're trying to create.
Yeah.
We have pretty high quality genetics to be able to breed the Wagyu, which is, if you haven't had Wagyu, you should go give it a shot.
I've never
It's
had
incredible.
It is
truly is.
a quite different experience, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it ain't
up
no
for it.
normal meat. It ain't the stuff you get down at Stop and Shop
Oh,
that
well,
I'm
yeah.
used to getting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Just
saying?
saying.
It's some serious meat. So it's just intriguing to think that it all starts there, all the way down at those facilities. Pretty cool stuff. So let's go back into the connections with the military and how you guys are going back. Because I just find that like so fascinating. There's so many meat companies out there that you could go to, but this is what really makes it so different, Gromer, because that you guys are literally giving back.
Yeah, you are.
I
To the
love it
veterans,
though.
so-
You know what? I definitely love that. Like I was telling them when I was speaking to you before, was I love how basically you guys are sitting in and care about the vet and caring about. And remember, everybody, man, this is an American company, man. This is in America. I think America needs to sit back and be like, yeah, because you know what? You don't have people that are sitting here trying to help the vets and these poor people that went through. If it wasn't for the vets, we wouldn't have America. So I want everybody to remember that. That's why I condone you on this. Like straight up, it's amazing what you're doing,
I
because
appreciate that, man.
I love how like basically you were the thing about when you first intrigued me. Shout out to Gruntworks, everybody. You already know. My thing is, what really intrigued me is when you saying that you care, like the passion that you have for this, even as a vet or just even as sitting there and just like with the meat and everything, making sure the people are eating healthier, making sure like, you know what I mean? Like that's dope.
I touched earlier on how important it is to have a tribe, especially for a veteran, in my opinion. And this is my tribe. So it's easy for me to be passionate about it. It's easy for me to care about it because it's purpose, it's identity. Don't get me wrong. I didn't grow up and I was like, hey, I really want to sell meat. It's not really about what we're selling though. It's about how we're doing it. It's the process behind it. What I think I'm giving back in some way. I mean, that's the real fun part. It's a lot of fun building something. It's a lot of fun creating something. It's even more fun watching it come to fruition.
Yeah.
And if you can get the added bonus of actually feeling like you helped somebody in the meantime, that's everything.
Yeah.
What are some of the obstacles when it comes to starting a meat company?
Oh man, to starting any company, there are a ton of obstacles.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I'm
Yeah, I
not saying
definitely
don't
wanna
do
know
it
this.
because that's the most fun part.
Yeah.
It's the most rewarding part. But there's a lot of obstacles. I mean, we started off, we just had an idea.
Yeah.
And on paper it seems so easy. Right? We got a ranch, we got a processing facility, let's butcher some meat and let's sell it.
Right.
But when you start getting into the nitty gritty of it, there's a lot of small things that you don't think about. The logistics. Is the
All the
logistics
fine
are probably
print, right?
yeah, logistics are probably the biggest hurdle. So if you can lock down logistics, you're going to be pretty good to go in any business, in my opinion, as long as you have something that someone needs. It's the old saying, find a problem and solve it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's good that you're coming from a new position. Like, nothing against these third, fourth generation ranchers. That obviously is great. But your incentive was not necessarily for the money. You were trying to help people, right? And your own personal experience with meat is what led to all of this. You weren't just born into this industry. So you're learning from the ground up. And when you build a company, you can do it in the right type of way. So everything from giving money back to the veterans to starting it from scratch. So one cool part too is I love that you can just order it online.
Yeah.
It's just so convenient, right? Who wants to go to the grocery store anymore and deal with all these psycho?
Yeah, I like
don't.
that too.
You don't know what's
I
gonna
like
happen.
that
It's
too.
2023, man.
Yeah,
it's a
man.
new world
I
out
love
here.
it. Go outside.
Nah, but I love that. I love that too, man. Just sitting
Yeah,
there,
but I- no,
ordering
you
what
know
you
what?
want, comes right there, man. That's dope.
No, but I actually do like going to the store once in a while.
Oh goodness.
Well, just just to pick my own fruit and stuff like that. I don't I don't know what other people are touching, so I'm kind of like a hands-on girl.
You don't wash it?
That's what I was about to say
Pick it
too.
up as an idiot.
But I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I like to, kind of do. It depends on what it is, okay? But if it's meat, I don't mind having it delivered. You
Okay,
know,
there you go.
Maybe I'll look up, online and see if there's a company out there that I can get, meat from. I don't know. We'll see. Anything else?
It's definitely a different experience picking food. I do feel you on the fruits and vegetables part. Meat is that's why you need a trustworthy company. You know?
Because if you don't have a trustworthy company, it's a moot point. Moo.
Correct.
Get it?
I'll go further to say maybe you don't trust anyone when it comes to your food, and make sure you have all the facts before you eat something.
That's it. So what have you learned in terms of...
Don't just take my word for it. You guys don't know me. I wouldn't expect you to trust me. But
I already trust you. You are trustable.
I'm not even necessarily saying any particular individual. I was using me as an example. You want to know what you're eating. You want to know what you're ingesting. It's really important. Your health,
especially when it comes to meat. I mean, meat.
Yeah.
If you guys pause, I will.
I'm not pausing anything. But
no more pausing.
I'm the worst person with that. All I see is a hamburger and I just chomp it down.
Yeah, he don't care. No,
I'm the worst.
No, but again with the meat.
I'm not gonna lie.
I want to know with all the processing and stuff like that. How did you start building that? Who did you start contacting about, creating this company and stuff like that? Who was the core of this?
Do you mean as far as demographic goes, or who we're going to sell to, or just starting the company in general?
All three.
So honestly, we kind of reverse engineered it, where we were like, all right, what do we want this to be in the end?
Right.
And, we kind of came to an agreement that we want to work with vets, so we want to work with a charity. Okay, so let's find a charity. And the way we found a charity was kind of cool, actually, because we didn't research charities. We researched, influencers in the veteran space. I tried to find someone that we just researched, who in the veteran space is making some noise right now that we like what they're doing. And Nate was maybe the first person that we came. Yeah, I think it was the first person we reached out to.
Yeah. How we got him on.
He was the first person that we reached out to, and immediately I was like, I really like what he's doing.
Yeah,
I hope we can link up.
Very
with him.
interesting.
And we brought him, and the rest is we brought him to the very own program, The Ryan Show.
Yeah.
Nate Boyer, and the rest is history.
Oh, jeez.
We're in the books.
Pause.
We're writing it as we speak.
I know.
GruntworksMC.com, promo code Advocate10. And get 10% off all products on the website, GruntworksMC.com, for all your finest meats.
And you already know this is Danny Rivera, the Advocate. I'll be right back.
Freedom isn't free, and neither is our meat. Gruntworks MC is providing America with the greatest meat on earth, while simultaneously giving back to veterans. 'Tis the season to order steaks. Go to gruntworksmc.com and check out our fine selection of beef and pork. We're talking Wagyu beef at regular beef prices. We're talking the literal greatest meat on earth. This is even better than eating normal Wagyu beef because you're helping veterans and those that served our country at the same time. Use promo code ADVOCATE10 for 10% off all purchases on gruntworksmc.com. That's ADVOCATE10 for 10% off all products. Check us out at gruntworksmc.com. Once again, promo code ADVOCATE10 at gruntworksmc.com for all the finest steaks.
What's going on? This is Danny Rivera, the Advocate, man. And I am here with Aldia and my boy Ryan from The Ryan Show and
Matt Giametta. But you know what? Before we start up, because now we went from healing your gastro issues, right? Now we're going to go into healing of another sort. So I want you to start that off. Okay. It's all about, it's funny. We went from meat and now we're going to mushrooms.
I'm liking this.
My two favorite things to consume.
I know. And I like to cook mushrooms too on top of my meat.
Definitely.
So, we're good. We're good.
Now we're talking.
Okay, but go ahead. Tell us more about the mushrooms.
Okay. So I currently work for a company called Hangos de Mexico. Well, I'm a small owner of a company. I'm the head of veteran affairs over there. The purpose of the company is to ultimately prescribe a medication for PTSD in the form of psilocybin microdosing. So if you guys aren't familiar with that, that's what we call...
but go ahead.
Only major doses.
This is what we call magic mushrooms. The active component in magic mushrooms that makes you, quote unquote, trip out is psilocybin. So they've been doing a ton of research on the benefits of low dose psilocybin for a lot of different things, but most importantly to me, PTSD.
Okay.
And honestly, the data is overwhelmingly conclusive.
Really?
And there's currently 0 treatments for PTSD. There are things that treat symptoms, don't get me wrong. There are things that treat symptoms, but there is nothing prescribable for PTSD. Doesn't exist.
Well, that's true. You're either in a psycho ward or something, or they have other stuff and programs and stuff like that, but they have nothing really solid.
Correct. And in my opinion, it's one of the biggest issues that we currently have in the country, just because we have so many combat vets and so many guys suffering. And even if you aren't in combat, there's so many forms of PTSD that so many people struggle with, and it can be consuming. I have a lot of friends that lost their lives post-combat. Due to drugs or suicide. And I spent a lot of time at the VA working with a lot of guys that struggled a ton, and you're just stuck. There's no way to get better, because I don't think it's lack of, I think it's just they don't know what to do. They don't know how to help. They want to help. I don't think that's the thing, but they're just not really sure where to send people. Yeah. So my own personal experience was I struggled with drug addiction, my own demons, and nothing that they tried worked. I was on all kinds of controlled substances, made everything worse. I got kind of lucky where I just kind of ventured off and was like, I need to try something else. I lived in an ashram, which is basically like a yogic community, like off the grid. Oh, wow. Which was time for another day. We can talk about that. That's a whole nother experience.
Oh, this guy can write a book. He can write a book, I'm telling you.
That's really dope.
But so I met some people there that made recommendations on things that I could try. Okay. And one of the things was microdosing psilocybin, which at the time sounded pretty crazy. But I'm a researcher. Anything that I'm trying, I want to know everything about it before I do. So I spent days and days doing checking out the data, seeing what was going on, what it was about, and I tried it. And I tell you what, I went from a place where I kind of forgot what smiling was. Oh, wow. I was pretty deep in the hole. I was numb emotionally. I was completely cut off from life. All my relationships were destroyed. And in a matter of months, my life wasn't fixed, but I had the opportunity to fix it again. I woke up, I got out of bed, I was happy. I had motivation to try things. And I saw the power behind these. And ironically, similar to the meat, this kind of just came to me. I never thought that I would work with a mushroom company. Synergistically, someone reached out to me and asked me about if I had connection to the VA who owns this company. And we swapped stories, and he asked me to come on board.
So how does that work? Does it just elevate your mood when you're microdosing?
So there's tons of reasons. Yeah. The number one reason is it attaches to your serotonin receptors. Oh. So it activates serotonin. Oh. Another reason is it increases something called BDNF, which is brain-derived nerve growth factor, which virtually over time heals the damage that you've done to your brain. So we work with functional mushrooms also, which are completely FDA approved and legal. Lion's mane, cordyceps, turkey tail,
really
reishi.
quick, that chemical that you spoke of, that's something that your brain naturally produces?
Sure. So there's different ways to enhance it. Mm-hmm. People use all kinds of supplements and stuff that they all work in some level, but specifically lion's mane and psilocybin are quite effective at increasing BDNF, which is why you see this elevation in mood, memory recall, cognitive performance.
I think I might need some of that.
It's kind of fascinating stuff, man. And it's a little bit out there for the average person to conceptualize, but the data is pretty overwhelming that it works.
So it's not instant. It's not like you just grab yourself an eighth of mushrooms, pop them, the next day you're out.
No.
It takes time to take some other type of therapy.
I'm going to prefix this by saying I am in no way endorsing going out and using recreational drugs.
Right.
By any means.
I was joking about the eighth, but in terms of starting the microdosing process, how long does it take until you actually feel the effects of that?
It varies person to person. It also depends on your mental state. To this day, I dabble with microdosing, and on the days that I do, I always tell people it's really hard to mess with my day on those days. It's like the sun came out just a little bit more.
Popeye needs spinach.
The world gets a little bit brighter. You feel mood elevation, some creative flow comes in, but over time, the benefits seem to be pretty profound.
Wow. Okay, that's.
And then is it something that if you lean off after microdosing for a while, the effects of healing sustain? Or is it
the data all points to yes. Wow. Yeah. So currently right now, the company I'm working with, we're in clinical trials with the hospital and the University of Guadalajara in Mexico. Okay. We have a neuroscientist, a mycologist, and a PhD working on it. We have 2 clinicals going, one for PTSD, one for diabetes type 2. I shouldn't say that. We have a clinical for diabetes type 2 going right now, and when we finish that, we're going to roll out the PTSD protocol. Oh, wow. But our plan is to bring that data to the States and get a clinical going, hopefully with the VA up here.
Those are 2 very different diseases.
I know. So we found out about diabetes. I shouldn't say we.
Yeah.
Our neuroscientist and PhD stumbled on the data for diabetes on accident while
That's
they were
the best
researching
science,
it.
though.
Wow.
Right?
They
Always.
saw the
I'm
change
loving
in the
this.
biomarkers. You know?
I'm loving this.
My man had
They saw
diabetes,
them.
having a good time. Next thing you know, he's healed. I get it.
Yeah. So as they were researching, they saw people's biomarkers changing. They saw they had lower glucose levels. They saw their A1C was being activated.
Will he
They
also
saw
be
it,
doing more
and they
research?
pieced the
Oh,
puzzle
so
together.
something was. So what exactly was activated? To
Your A1C in your pancreas, which basically helps your body metabolize glucose and create insulin.
wow. That's
I got to get the book. I got to get the book.
That was good, man. Wow.
Do you think there's
I want
a
to preface
reason-
this by I am not a doctor, so you know.
No, but
I don't want to turn you to conspiracy theories here, but do you think that there's a reason why these substances like mushrooms have been illegal for this long, and now we're doing this science
I know,
and
I
research
got
into
I mean,
it?
my
It turns
own
out they're
personal,
so
yeah.
healing.
Yeah.
Like, is it the pharmaceutical companies? You know, we hear all these conspiracies about some type of a medical industrial complex. What are your thoughts now that you're actually in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to touch on the pharmaceutical reason at all. I don't, I have my own views about them.
Right.
That said, I believe that plants were put here for a reason. I believe the earth has everything that we need, and there's plants that heal us for a reason,
Right.
and we should probably utilize them for what they're for.
he is absolutely right. Everything else on this planet is planted, rooted, and grown by itself.
The earth
and
is already perfect.
Right, and the sun does it all for us, right? So why are we taking away from that and trying to build and make other synthetic? And I'm going to go back with the chicken because it really bothers me. It really bothers me when things are lab created.
Yeah, I'm with you on that
You
personally.
know, that's
like
the only-
broccoli.
Well, what?
Was it broccoli lab created? There's a few
Wait,
vegetables
are you
out there that are
you
just
know what? I don't want
lab created.
broccoli is-
Cauliflower. I'm pretty sure. I think the devil created it.
No, but I think
devil.
Mushrooms.
Here we go again.
We can
Now, there's been a
just
few.
so you guys know, this company also, our competitors are not our competitors. Other people in the region, they're all using synthetic mushrooms.
Okay.
Okay.
And we're not. We have mycologists on hand that are cultivating everything.
Okay.
So I think that's one thing that'll be able to separate us. As we come up, I think people are going to want to focus a little more on the organic mushrooms cultivated. I think
sure.
that there's going to be some other benefits.
What's so odd to me about mushrooms too is they're just so different from plants, and they're different from flesh.
They're alive.
kind of right in between.
They are alive, man.
What a
They're
trip.
ecosystems. They speak to each other. They
Yeah.
communicate.
How does that work? How do they speak to each other?
So I guess speaking to each other, to actually speak to each other, I guess
their
that's a
own
little bit of an
language.
Okay,
embellishment.
you know
but
what?
they do communicate.
You had me there for a
Communicate with each
second,
other.
but go ahead.
They do communicate with each other. That's science.
Mushrooms?
That's proven. Yeah, mushrooms communicate
vibrations
underground.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, like while they're rooted in the ground, they communicate to each other. They are their own ecosystem down there.
That is true when you kind of think
They're
about
kind of
that.
fascinating.
It is kind of true. But,
Also, so is meat. Check
Hey,
out
listen, this is the first time. Go
gruntworksmc.com.
ahead.
Sorry, a little endorsement.
Promo code advocate 10
tell everybody where you're going.
gruntworksmc.com.
Check us out, guys. Support us, please. You're gonna enjoy it.
yes, I will.
And if anybody want to know why I've been quiet through this whole thing, is just because it's
on
been
mushrooms.
that too.
It's the
Not playing.
mushrooms.
No, but it was honestly, it was an amazing thing having you, man. Shout out to Grunt Work. I know this is gonna be amazing, man. And everybody, this is the Advocate, and I'm out of here, man. Definitely stay tuned the next week as well. So everybody, good night, man.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Freedom isn't free, and neither is our meat. Gruntworks MC is providing America with the greatest meat on earth, while simultaneously giving back to veterans. 'Tis the season to order steaks. Go to gruntworksmc.com and check out our fine selection of beef and pork. We're talking Wagyu beef at regular beef prices. We're talking the literal greatest meat on earth. This is even better than eating normal Wagyu beef because you're helping veterans and those that served our country at the same time. Use promo code ADVOCATE10 for 10% off all purchases on gruntworksmc.com. That's ADVOCATE10 for 10% off all products. Check us out at gruntworksmc.com. Once again, promo code ADVOCATE10 at gruntworksmc.com for all the finest steaks.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.